So I get a lot of questions concerning how I made my paper 1911 and how I got it to work. Usually I put up a thread or something somewhere, posting somewhere saying I made this 1911 paper and gun out of paper and, well, and it shot and it works, and I link to the video, and sometimes they don't believe me. Well, I'm just gonna make this video just to go over it, but easily you can just look around. I have in my channel a list of recommendations for different channels of gunsmiths that I know, and they've been doing this longer than I have, for years probably, so I'm not gonna take credit for anything really besides making my own. And I got some help from Flak Jacket 1000, so you can find his channel in my channel. So yeah, let me just do a rundown of it. Pretty much this thing functions just like the real thing. Well, I don't really have to explain it much. To come 1942, he has a good video of his working much better than mine. I still have lots of things to fix up on this, but like, here's a real magazine. It functions. It works inside mine. Not very great when I cock it, but it works decently. And sometimes I get that slight jam. And it's also locked back. And sometimes it doesn't like to, because I put in a new magazine spring, so to make it a little bit lighter so it's not hard on my gun to rack. And there we go, locked back. So when it's empty, well, usually it's supposed to do that, but yeah. And then you just push that down, release the slide. But yeah. Just a basic overview. I have another video of it firing. I have actually 3 videos of it firing. The last one I actually recorded a little bit, but it's still got a little bit of work. I'm starting a new gun, which is the M1 Grand, and I got a trigger and part of sear done, so there's that. But enough of that. Back to my 1911. But yeah. Yeah, just take a look at it. It's all paper. And obviously the parts that are not paper, I mean, most of the construction of it is going to be paper, obviously. That's why I call it a paper gun. Well, you know, it's that person that says, well, that's not all paper, it's gotta have like springs and stuff. Well, yeah, it does. But, you know, those are little parts, little pins and springs in there that are in there to make it function. And yeah, stuff like that. But, yeah, just super glue. Just hardened super glue. Just the paper, it makes a really hard surface on the paper. Soaks through all the fibers and pretty much comes off like feeling like plastic. So yeah, I have just a little primer that I made using aluminum cap, and the anvil you find inside a real ones, just those toy caps, the powder from in there. And I'm gonna try setting it off, and I apologize if it doesn't work. If it doesn't, well, you can see my other firing videos of it working. And oops, the front sight just fell off right now. Grab it. Alright. Yeah, that's not being held in place by anything really, besides a little bit of wax that's supposed to just keep it stuck there. I'll just take that off for the sake of the video so it doesn't go flying off. But hopefully this works. So there's a round with a little primer in the back, so hopefully this works. That was pretty loud, but yeah, hopefully you can see the smoke. But let me just check that. But yeah, there you go, you can see the smoke now. But yeah, usually you just need light loads. You don't want to use a real round, and using that primer, the gun will probably just blow up. So yeah, you can see the smoke coming out. So yeah. And let me go pick up that round. So my firing pin strike's a little bit off. Let me see if I can get this focus. I mean, it's not centered exactly, it's a little bit off. Hopefully it focuses, but, oh, there we go. You can see it now. It's a little bit off, but, you know, it's just about there. I can make it go off. But, yeah. But, yeah, as far as the construction goes, you could see all these other better tutorials other than my channel. I'm just here to show you the one I made. Oh yeah, the sight. Let me put that thing back on. Yeah, this is a little case I got for like $7 on Amazon for it. And let me just show you the ejection one more time. Right now my magazine can only hold 5 rounds because I put in my own spring to make it lighter, but the spring's just too bunched up in there, so I just want to load all of it. So here we go. Yeah, stuff like that happens, but you know. I mean, not everything works, well, for the most part, most of the main functions work. Thumb safety works a little bit, but if I pull it quite a bit, it goes off. Even the disconnector inside, and then the grip safety in the back. But you know, you could stop the slide from going back, so that's a cool part. And then slide stop. So, yeah. So, let me do just a disassembly for you. And I'll show you the parts just to prove that's paper. Alright. So, let me start off. Well, I have this rubber band holding the grips in place just because, well, the little screws, things that hold them in, doesn't want to stay on the frame, so I could just pop this off, but I gotta screw the other side in because I fixed that part. And these grips are actually made out of cereal box cardboard. Let me just show you right now. As soon as I get this grip off, angle this camera down. So, you could kind of see the layers that I have on it. On this side, not really because I kind of centered it down, but it's basically stacks of cereal box cardboard, and then I sanded it down, used the Dremel on the sides, and drilled in its holes, and then used the needle file to make these sides. Oh yeah, and also Dremel that part, just so it kind of rests right there for my finger. A pretty good construction of it. This one didn't turn out quite as nice, and you see it's kind of ugly. I'm not going to go over that one. But this one turned out pretty nice. So let me just continue on to the disassembly of it. Next up, just push this in and turn. So you got the cap. And then recoil spring, which I just got out of a notebook, and then I wrapped it around let me get it here, just a wooden dowel, just wrap it around one. Well, this is not the right size, but you know, it's the right dimension, and I got this. Let me take this off. Slide stop here. See the little layers, and this is just a pin inside and wrap paper around it. this, the barrel. And let me just get something to push out this pin right here for the barrel link. There we go. Front sight, and then the rear sight slides right out, just like that. Alright, next, frying pin retainer, just a plate in the back that holds it in. I'll push my finger on top so it doesn't come popping out. So there's a spring for it. And this I just made using just a nail. So this is the frying pin. I made it from a nail. Use a Dremel on that to round it off, and then wrap some paper around on this side. And then the extractor is a wooden dowel that I carved out. So you can see it used to be just a round wooden dowel, and just use the Dremel and just carved out the shapes, and use a needle file on here and here to make the little hook right there that pulls the casing out. And you can see the entire construction of this. It's all paper except for some parts where it's just some hardened super glue, and then I just filed it down so everything fits in the right dimension. So there you go. There's the slide. Let me move on to this. Let me just do this part first. It's easier for me to take this part out. You know, that's not really how it really disassembles, whatever. There's a little ladder spring. Just push this part out. Wants to go. Alright, there we go. So, the plungers and the plunger spring. Oh, that's the plunger. Next, oh yeah, let me take out the ejector. So the ejector is actually originally from paper, and then I put some thin sheet metal on it so it doesn't wear out over time after each ejection. And safety. Got the grip safety here. So you can see the little layers just to prove it's paper. Well, also to prove it's paper. You see from the I pretty much print out the blueprints and then to the right dimension, then just cut it out. So you see this, it's all paper. Just to prove it that way. And there we go. Take that out. So mainspring housing. Pull the pin out. Out it comes. There's a cap to it. And there's the housing. And this one I just got from one of those steel bands you find like construction yards and stuff, and then I just trimmed it, bent it, and got that. And a hammer strut. And I apologize for that cut. I just ran out of memory. So here we go. Let me just take out this little guy. Doesn't really like to turn. There we go. And there you have the magazine catch. Take out these. Oh, I forgot one thing, which is the sear and a disconnector. Let's see, what can I use to punch this out? There we go. capacitor in this connector. And last but not least, trigger. So yeah, that's about everything right there. All disassembled. So yeah, there you go. And it's a mess, but let me just try putting it all back together. So when I was putting the last video, well, before it cut, back on my computer, I noticed that the sound of the shot from the primer didn't come out on the camera. But, you know, you get the idea. You could hear it on my other firing videos of it, especially second and third firing test. Yeah, just the smoke to prove it though. But the sound just pretty much destroyed my camera's microphone, so it didn't even come out. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. And obviously I'm not taking any credit for this. Only credit I'm taking is this build right here, but not being the first to make a functional firing one, you know. I mean, there's been other people who've done it before, so. And where did that pin go? There it is. That's a pretty lengthy video, but you know, I just want to get my point across on how it's made and other things. And it's a pretty long process just to put this thing back together, but you know, it's just like the real thing. It'll be pretty lengthy just to put it back together. Put that in the wrong way. Punch that out. Let's put it in the right way this time. Alright, there we go. This thing wants to pop out. Alright. Let's put the ejector back in. Let's put the hammer. There's the pin for it. I lose track of all my parts and where I put them since I ran out of memory. I had to go back to my computer and, you know. That's in place. Let's put this back in place. Alright. That's in place now. Did I forget anything? Hopefully I didn't. Let's put the screws for the grips back in. And let me also note that all that brown stuff right there is when I was trying to polish it, the feeding ramp. Well, I sanded it down and polished it using this substance. I don't know what it is really, but it's from my Dremel kit. It kind of just stained it a little bit, but I might just paint it over or not. I don't know. It won't really be seen when it's being used or taken out. And pop these back in because they didn't really go in the right way. Just secure it, just in case it pops right out. And then, next up, slide. Yeah, that's right. And let's see if the link doesn't like to go down all the time. Fix that. Alright, I think I did. Alright. There it goes. Put that in. Oh, I forgot to put this in. Just twist it so I can put the spring and the cap back in place. And there we go. So yeah, there we go. Just an overview. I mean, thank you for the people who actually went through the entire video. If you skipped ahead, perfectly fine. But yeah, just an overview of paper 1911. There's more to come in the future. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching.